Hey, what's up? It's Ashlyn here. So, we have 13 books, I think. Um, and this will complete the first bottom shelf on that bookshelf of all the book haul that we're doing. This is the fall book haul. Gosh, my nose. Some of these were bought forever ago and they've just kind of been sitting over there. So, okay, so I have Irish Johansson's Countdown. It says, when it reaches 0, you die. Don't kill her, she's no good to us dead. These words haunt Jane McGuire. She thought she'd escaped a random kidnapping, but she's about to learn that the truth is far more terrifying. Now Jane is running for her life. Her adoptive parents, forensic sculptor Eve Duncan and Joe Quinn of the Atlanta PD can't help. The FBI can't help. No one can, except a man who may be more dangerous than those pursuing her. A smuggler, a con man. Mark Trevor had his own mysterious reasons for wanting to keep Jane safe from a relentless killer in a 2,000-year-old mystery that could rock the modern-day world. For the past is returning with a vengeance that knows no mercy. The countdown has begun, and it's closer to 0 than anyone thinks. So I thought maybe this would be like the movie that came out, but this doesn't sound like the movie. It's been a while since I've seen the movie, though. But there's about 500 pages here, so it's a good chunk, but definitely one that I'm going to be checking out for sure. Next, I have Nothing to See Here by Kevin Wilson. So I don't know anything about this author. I grabbed this book. Ooh, it's got deckled edges. I grabbed this book because it's been on my TBR for a while. I literally have this book written down on my TBR that I wrote out when I started reading back in 2019. I believe 2019 would be the right year. Maybe. I just want to make sure. Give me 1 second. Sorry. I want to see their copyright date on here. Yeah, this is from 2019. Okay, I just don't want to sound like I was like, oh yeah, I've known this book for like years, and then it didn't come out in the year that I said. Okay, so this is Lillian and Madison were unlikely roommates and yet inseparable friends at their boarding school. But then Lillian had to leave the school unexpectedly in the wake of a scandal, and they've barely spoken since. Until now, more than 10 years later, when Lillian gets a letter from Madison pleading for her help. Madison's twin stepkids are moving in with her family, and she wants Lillian to be their caretaker. However, there's a catch. The twins spontaneously combust when they get agitated, flames igniting from their skin in a startling but beautiful way. Lillian is convinced Madison is pulling her leg, but it's the truth. Thinking of her dead-end life at home, the life that has consistently disappointed her, Lillian figures she has nothing to lose. Over the course of one humid, demanding summer, Lillian and the twins learn to trust one another and stay cool, while also staying out of the way of Madison's buttoned-up politician husband. Surprised by her own ingenuity, yet unused to the intense feelings of protectiveness she feels for them, Lillian ultimately begins to accept that she needs these strange children as much as they need her, urgently and fiercely. Couldn't this be the start of the amazing life she'd always hoped for? With white-hot wit and a big, tender heart, Kevin Wilson has written his best book yet, the most unusual story of parental love. Okay, so they combust. That's kind of weird. Alright, next we have The Charmers by Elizabeth Adler, and this is another one that I picked up somewhere. I don't remember where exactly. It says a young woman arrives in the most beautiful place on earth only to find that nothing is as it seems, and this emotionally charged thriller from the New York Times bestselling author Elizabeth Adler. On the narrow coastal strip in the south of France lies the idyllic Villa Romantica, the home Mirabella Matthews has newly inherited from her Aunt Jolly, who dies suddenly and under suspicious circumstances. A tragedy, no doubt, but with it comes a fresh start for Mirabella, a writer in need of a change in scenery. Until on her way to the villa, she is run off the road by a motorcycle, and that's only the beginning of the mysterious goings on. Soon Mirabella learns that Aunt Jolly had a dark past, populated by men who are now crawling out of the woodwork. Who can Mirabella trust in the midst of such madness, and who is using charm to mask the face of a murderer? Not gonna lie, it doesn't sound that interesting. Um, for it being 300 pages and like what, 57 chapters. They better be really short chapters. So that's a maybe. Next we have The 7 or 8 Deaths of Stella Fortuna by Juliet Grams. I don't know. It has a map inside, so that's pretty cool. I picked this up in a free library in a different city. So, a sweeping family saga that follows 100 years of family secrets from Italy to America. For Stella Fortuna, death has always been a part of life. Stella's childhood is full of strange, life-threatening incidents, moments when ordinary situations, like cooking eggplant or feeding the pigs, inexplicably take lethal turns. Even Stella's own mother is convinced that her daughter is cursed or haunted. In her rugged Italian village, Stella is considered an oddity, beautiful and smart, insolent and cold. Stella uses her peculiar toughness to protect her slower, plainer baby sister, Tina, from life's harshest realities. But she also provokes the ire of her father, Antonio, a man who demands subservience from women and whose greatest gift to his family is his absence. When the Fortunas emigrate to America on the cusp of World War II, Stella and Tina must come of age side by side in a hostile new world with strict expectations for each of them. Soon Stella learns that her survival is worthless without the one thing her family will deny her at any cost, her independence. In present-day Connecticut, one family member tells this heart-rending story, determined to understand the persisting rift between the now elderly Stella and Tina. A richly told debut, The 7 or 8 Deaths of Stella Fortuna is a tale of family transgressions as ancient and twisted as the olive branch that could heal them. So basically, she's like a walking, like, warning label. Sounds interesting, actually. Next, we have Jenna Showalter's The Darkest Lie. I have tried so many times with Jenna Showalter. This is my last attempt. Forced to his knees in agony whenever he speaks the truth, Gideon can recognize any lie until he captures Scarlet, a demon-possessed immortal who claims to be his long-lost wife. He doesn't remember the beautiful female, much less wedding or bedding her, but he wants to, almost as much as he wants her. But Scarlet is keeper of nightmares, too dangerous to roam free. A future with her might mean ultimate ruin, especially as Gideon's enemies draw closer and the truth threatens to destroy all he's come to love. So it says Darkest Lie, Lords of the Underworld. Maybe. Okay, next we have a Christina Lauren. This isn't a holidays. This is going to be for, obviously, Christmas time, because this is giving Christmas vibes. It says, one Christmas wish, 2 brothers, and a lifetime of hope are on the line. For hapless Malin Jones in A Holidays, the quintessential romantic holiday novel by Christina Lauren. It's the most wonderful time of the year, but not for Malin Jones. She's living with her parents, hates her going nowhere job, and has just made a romantic error of epic proportions. But perhaps worst of all, this is the last Christmas May will be at her favorite place in the world, the snowy Utah cabin where she and her family have spent the holidays every year since she was born, along with 2 other beloved families. Mentally melting down as she drives away from the cabin for the final time, May throws out what she thinks is a simple plea to the universe. Please, show me what will make me happy. The next thing she knows, tires screech and metal collides, everything goes black. But when May gasps awake, she's on an airplane bound for Utah, where she begins the same holiday all over again. With one hilarious disaster after another sending her back to the plane, May must figure out how to break free of this strange time loop and finally get her true love under the mistletoe. Jam-packed with Yuletide cheer and unforgettable cast of characters and Christina Lauren's trademark downright hilarious hijinks, the swoon-worthy romantic read will make you believe in the power of wishes and the magic of the holidays. Oh. Nice. So it's basically Happy Death Day, but in a holiday. Cool. We like that idea. Next we have The Girl He Used to Know by Tracy Garvis Graves. I believe I bought this from the dollar store. An addictive, hopelessly romantic novel about the power of fate and unconditional love. Anika Rose is an English major at the University of Illinois. Anxious in social situations where she finds most people's behavior confusing, She'd rather be in the library surrounded by books or playing a quiet game of chess. Jonathan Hoffman joined the chess club and lost his first game, hitting his heart to the shy and awkward yet brilliant and beautiful Anika. Jonathan and Anika bring out the best in each other, and slowly but surely they fall in love. Neither of them could have possibly foreseen the tragedy that shatters their relationship and tears them apart. Now, a decade later, fate reunites Anika and Jonathan in Chicago. The attraction and strong feelings they once shared are instantly rekindled, but unless they confront the circumstances that drove them apart, their second chance at love and happiness will end before it truly begins. Yeah, no. I was like, definitely not. I'm not interested. Okay, next I have Mary Higgins Clark, The Christmas Thief. So this is Mary and Carol Higgins Clark. This is another Christmas one. I picked up some Christmas ones because I didn't have very many Christmas books. Okay, so as I was saying, I have this. This is another holiday book. It says Elvira Meehan, the lottery winner turned amateur sleuth, teams up with private investigator Reagan Riley to solve another Christmas mystery. In Deck the Halls, they rescued Reagan's kidnapped father. This time they get in the middle of a case involving a beautiful 80-foot blue spruce that has been chosen to spend the holidays as Rockefeller Center's famous Christmas tree. The folks who picked the tree don't have a clue that attached to one of its branches is a flask chock full of priceless diamonds that Packy Noonan, a scam artist just released from prison, had hidden there over 12 years ago. An excited Packy breaks his parole and heads to Stowe, Vermont to reclaim his loot. Once there, he is horrified to discover that his special tree will be heading to New York City the next morning, with a bumbling crew consisting of Jojo, Benny, and an unsuccessful poet, Milo, who knows he has to act fast. What Packy does not know is that Elvira and Reagan are on a weekend trip to Stowe with Elvira's husband, Willie, Reagan's fiance, Jack, Reagan's parents, Luke and Nora, and Elvira's friend Opal, a lottery winner who lost all her winnings in Packy's scam. On Monday morning, when they're supposed to head home, they learn that the tree is missing. Packy Noonan may be in the vicinity, and Opal has disappeared. From two of America's beloved storytellers, The Christmas Thief is filled with suspense, comic characters, and holiday cheer, and is sure to delight its readers. So it looks, I don't know. This one's an I don't know. I'm not sure. Okay. And this is another one from my friend. This is The Heir, book 4 of the Selection series by Kira Cass. 20 years ago, her mother won the crown. Now Princess Edelyn is ready to find true love. Princess Edelyn has grown up hearing endless stories about how her mother and father met. 20 years ago, America's Singer entered the selection and won the heart of Prince Maxon, and they lived happily ever after. Edelyn has always found their fairy tale story romantic, but she has no interest in trying to repeat it. If it were up to her, she'd put off marriage for as long as possible, but a princess's life is never entirely her own, and Edelyn can't escape her very own selection no matter how fervently she protests. Edelyn doesn't expect her story to end in romance, but as the competition begins, one entry may just capture Edelyn's heart, showing her all the possibilities that lie in front of her, and proving that finding her own happily ever after isn't as impossible as she always thought. So, yeah. So we shall see. Next, I have The True and Outstanding Adventures of the Hunt Sisters by Elizabeth Robinson. No idea. This is another one I think that was down somewhere. I'm not sure. Says Olivia Hunt's Hollywood life has come to a grinding halt. A hotshot producer accustomed to first-class amenities, Olivia has just been unceremoniously fired after her last movie tanked. Her boyfriend Michael has dumped her, and she's not the blonde she used to be. Dark roots are coming in at an alarming rate. Her next project is a well-crafted suicide note. Then she finds out what real trouble is. Olivia's beloved sister Maddie is seriously ill. Maddie is living the life Olivia ran like hell from. She's happily married to her high school sweetheart and still living in the small town where they grew up. Stunned and bewildered, Olivia catches the next plane back home. Maddie's idealism and optimism have always driven Olivia crazy. Even now, when the odds aren't good, Maddie never doubts she'll beat them. But Olivia wonders, is hope just a way of kidding yourself? As if to answer that question, Maddie challenges Olivia to produce her dream film, The Impossible to Make Don Quixote. Olivia's life then becomes a tangle of movie sets, IV drips, and letters to Michael asking him what went wrong and if they might try again. When Maddie takes a turn for the worse, Olivia has to face the hardest choices life can offer. How can one person's heart so truly be in three places at once? Imbued with all the love one sister can feel for another and all the frustration too, the true and outstanding adventures of the Hunt sisters is heartbreaking and hilarious, somber and delightful, and full of wisdom, joy, and grace. It is a brilliantly written debut about the unlimited possibilities of love and how hope can grow in even the darkest places. Interesting. That's a maybe. Next we have The Life and Death of Sophie Stark by Anna North. Sorry guys, something is like seriously bothering my nose. I wouldn't be surprised. There's so many like things in here going on. Okay, so gripping and provocative, The Life and Death of Sophie Stark is a haunting story of fame, love, and legacy told through the propulsive rise of an iconoclastic artist. Sophie Stark begins her filmmaking career by creating a documentary about her obsession, Daniel, a college basketball star. But when she becomes too invasive, she finds herself the victim of a cruel retribution. The humiliation doesn't stop her. Visionary and unapologetic, Sophie begins to use stories from the lives of those around her to create movies, and she gains critical recognition and acclaim. She risks betraying the one she loves most. Told in a chorus of voices belonging to those who knew Sophie best, The Life and Death of Sophie Stark is an intimate portrait of an elusive woman whose monumental talent and restless pursuit of truth revealed the cost of producing great art. It is not only a dissection of genius and the havoc it can wreak, but also a thunderously good story. Interesting. Sounds good. No, that's definitely a keeper. Alright, next we have All That You Leave Behind. It's a memoir by Erin Lee Carr. It's a book of the month book. It says, Dad, what will set you apart is not talent, but will and a certain kind of humility, a willingness to let the world show you things that you play back as you grow as an artist. Talent is cheap. Me, okay, I will ponder these things. I am a Carr. Dad, that should matter quite a bit, actually, not the same, but the guts of what that name means. A celebrated journalist, best-selling author, and recovering addict, David Carr was in the prime of his career when he suffered a fatal collapse in the newsroom of the New York Times in 2015. Shattered by his death, his daughter Erin Lee Carr, at age 27, an up-and-coming documentary filmmaker, began combing through the entirety of their shared correspondence, 1,936 items in total, in search of comfort and support. What started as an exercise in grief quickly grew into an active investigation. Did her father's writings contain the answers to the question of how to move forward in life and work without her biggest champion by her side? How could she fill the space left behind by a man who had come to embody journalistic integrity, rigor, and hard reporting, whose mentorship meant everything not just to her, but to the many who served alongside him? All That You Leave Behind is a poignant coming-of-age story that offers a raw and honest glimpse into the multi-layered relationship between a daughter and a father. Through this lens, Erin comes to understand her own workplace missteps, existential crisis, and relationship fails. Why daughter and father bond over their mutual addictions and challenges with sobriety. It is their powerful sense of work and family that comes to ultimately define them. This unique combination of Erin Lee Carr's earnest prose and her father's meaningful words offers a compelling read that shows us what it means to be vulnerable and lost, supported, and found, if it is a window into love with all of its fierceness and frustrations. Aww. I love that. That's so cute, though. Okay, I like that a lot. And the last one that we have is Make Him Look Good by Alyssa Valdez Rodriguez. Novel, the best-selling author of The Dirty Girls Social Club. I have no idea. This looks so good. Like, look at this. It looks so cute. It's thick, though. An exhilarating novel of 6 women and their relationships with one very charismatic man. Ricky Biscayne is a sexy Latin singing sensation who has topped the charts and taken the pop world by storm. He's also stormed into lives and dreams of the women who orbit him. Mylan Ricky's new publicist, smart as a whip and chubby as only a girl who still lives at home with her parents can be. Geneva, Mylan's sister, as lean and chic as Mylan is not, her Club G promises to be Miami's hottest new thing. Jasminka, Ricky's gorgeous Serbian model wife, who might finally eat a little something now that she's pregnant. Irene, a firefighter whose high school romance with Ricky was the last love in her life. Currently, she's eking out an existence for herself and her daughter Sophia. Sophia, who is beginning to suspect that she and Ricky Biscayne look a little too much alike. Jill Sanchez, an omnivorous, media manic Latina star who has crossed over from CDs to perfume, clothes, and movies. Sexy, romantic, and full of the fun of a girls' night out in the Miami Music Club and modeling scenes, Make Him Look Good is irresistible fiction from one of America's most original voices. I mean, it doesn't look bad, so yeah. So we had one dud that we definitely don't want. And that's the girl he used to know, so yeah. And then we have 4 maybes. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 4 maybes. So, I hope you guys enjoy that. I'm sorry it took so long, and I will see you guys in the next one. I'm sure we're gonna have more. I've got a whole nother shelf to go.